In the early days of exploration, when maps were riddled with blanks and uncharted territories loomed as great mysteries, there was a man who stood apart. Colonel Percy Fawcett was not just an explorer, he was a dreamer, a man driven by an insatiable belief that the world still held secrets. Born in 1867, Fawcett was raised in an era when the allure of the unknown could shape destinies. He was a man of science, a meticulous surveyor, but also a romantic, captivated by tales of lost cities and ancient civilizations. By the early 20th century, Fawcett had already made a name for himself. He was an esteemed member of the Royal Geographical Society, undertaking numerous expeditions to map uncharted regions of South America. The dense Amazon rainforest, with its labyrinthine rivers and impenetrable foliage, became his domain. His skill in navigating this unforgiving landscape was unparalleled. He was meticulous in his observations, charting not only the geography but also the wildlife, flora, and the indigenous tribes he encountered. But there was one story, one tantalizing legend, that would come to dominate his life. Deep in the heart of the Amazon, Fawcett believed, lay the remnants of an ancient, advanced civilization. He called this Lost City Z. The idea wasn't born of mere fantasy. Fawcett had collected accounts from indigenous tribes, historical texts, and even a mysterious manuscript known as the Manuscript 512, housed in the National Library of Brazil. Written by a Portuguese explorer in the 1700s, the manuscript described a grand city of stone, with towering arches and statues, hidden deep in the jungle. Fawcett's obsession with Z grew over the years. He was convinced that finding this city would rewrite the history of human civilization, challenging the Eurocentric narrative that placed advanced development solely in the hands of Europeans. To Fawcett, Z was not merely a city, it was evidence of a sophisticated culture that had thrived long before the arrival of the conquistadors. By 1925, Fawcett was ready to embark on what he believed would be his final and greatest expedition. He was joined by his eldest son, Jack, and Jack's close friend, Raleigh Rymel. The three men, along with a small team of local guides, were determined to penetrate the heart of the Amazon, a region so vast and hostile that it had swallowed countless explorers before them. They carried with them the barest essentials, machetes, compasses, notebooks, and provisions. Fawcett believed that traveling light and respecting the land would be key to their success. Their journey began in Cuiabá, a small frontier town in Brazil, where they stocked up on supplies and gathered information from locals. From there, they ventured into the unknown. Days turned into weeks as they hacked their way through dense jungle, crossed treacherous rivers, and endured the relentless onslaught of insects. The heat was oppressive, and the air was thick with humidity. Yet, Fawcett pressed on, his determination unwavering. The expedition encountered numerous challenges. Provisions ran low, and the group was often forced to subsist on whatever the jungle provided. They faced hostile wildlife, from venomous snakes to jaguars. At one point, Jack fell ill, his body weakened by the constant exposure to the elements. But his father's resolve seemed to fuel him, and he pushed forward despite his condition. Fawcett's journals, recovered years later, provide a glimpse into the journey. His entries speak of strange encounters with indigenous tribes who lived deep within the forest, tribes that had little to no contact with the outside world. Some were friendly, offering food and guidance, while others were wary, their spears a constant reminder of the dangers that surrounded the explorers. Yet, Fawcett respected these tribes, treating them with a dignity that was uncommon among explorers of his time. He believed that their knowledge of the land was invaluable and that they held clues to the location of Z. As the expedition delved deeper into the jungle, the landscape began to change. The dense foliage gave way to strange, open clearings. They discovered remnants of ancient structures, broken pottery, stone carvings, and what appeared to be the foundations of long-forgotten dwellings. Fawcett was convinced they were on the right track. He wrote of feeling a palpable sense of history in the air, as if the jungle itself was guarding the secrets of an ancient world. But as the weeks turned into months, contact with the outside world ceased. The last known communication from Fawcett was a letter sent to his wife, Nina, from a remote trading post. In it, he spoke of their progress and his unshakable belief that they were close to their goal. "We are on the verge of great discovery," he wrote. "Do not fear failure." After that, the expedition vanished without a trace. The disappearance of Percy Fawcett and his team became one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. Over the years, Countless expeditions have been launched to uncover their fate. Some have returned with tantalizing clues, bones believed to belong to Fawcett, reports of a white man living among an isolated tribe, and even rumors of a journal hidden in the jungle. But none have definitively solved the mystery. Theories abound. Some believe that Fawcett and his team were killed by hostile tribes, their bodies consumed by the jungle. Others speculate that they succumbed to disease or starvation. There are even those who suggest that Fawcett found Z and chose to remain there, leaving behind the modern world to embrace the ancient civilization he had so long sought. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of Fawcett's story is not his disappearance but the enduring mystery of Z itself. In recent years, archaeologists have uncovered evidence of vast, complex societies that once thrived in the Amazon. These discoveries, including massive earthworks, intricate road systems, and advanced agricultural techniques, suggest that the region was home to millions of people before the arrival of Europeans. Could these findings be the remnants of Z, the city that Fawcett dreamed of? The story of Percy Fawcett is one of ambition, obsession, and the enduring human spirit. It is a reminder of the vastness of our world and the mysteries that still lie hidden within it. Fawcett's legacy endures not because of what he found, but because of what he sought, a deeper understanding of our shared past and the belief that the world still holds secrets worth discovering. And so, the jungle keeps its secrets. The story of Colonel Percy Fawcett and the lost city of Z remains one of history's greatest enigmas, a testament to the enduring allure of the unknown. The mystery of Colonel Percy Fawcett has grown over the decades, becoming a tale that blends fact and legend in equal measure. His disappearance ignited a wave of curiosity, fueling expeditions, books, and even films that sought to unravel what really happened in the Amazon jungle. But despite the fascination, the truth remains elusive, hidden beneath the dense canopy of trees and the passage of time. Fawcett's quest for Z was not just about finding a city. It was about rewriting the narrative of history. In his time, the prevailing belief among Western scholars was that the Amazon was incapable of sustaining large, complex civilizations. The idea of a thriving society in the heart of the jungle was dismissed as fantasy, a notion fueled by the racist and colonialist attitudes of the era. Fawcett, however, was ahead of his time. He believed the jungle was not an inhospitable wasteland but a cradle of ancient culture, teeming with life and history. What drove him to this conviction? It wasn't just the manuscript 512 or the artifacts he encountered on his earlier expeditions. Fawcett was also influenced by the indigenous people he met, who spoke of ancient cities and advanced ancestors. These stories, passed down through generations, were dismissed by most outsiders, but Fawcett listened. He respected their knowledge and believed their accounts held grains of truth. But his obsession with Z came at a cost. Fawcett's single-minded pursuit of his dream strained his relationships, particularly with his wife, Nina. Though she supported his ambitions, she was left to raise their children largely on her own while he ventured into the unknown. In her letters, she wrote of her longing for his return, her unwavering belief in his mission, and her heartbreak over his prolonged absences. After his disappearance, Nina campaigned tirelessly to keep his legacy alive, refusing to accept that he might be gone forever. In the decades following Fawcett's vanishing, the mystery only deepened. Expeditions sent to find him often met with misfortune. Some returned empty-handed, while others disappeared entirely, adding to the mystique of the tale. Rumors swirled of treasure hunters finding cryptic carvings or stumbling upon abandoned campsites believed to belong to Fawcett. One particularly persistent rumor told of an indigenous tribe in the Amazon that guarded the graves of 3 white men. Was this Fawcett, Jack, and Raleigh? No one could say for certain. In the 1950s, an explorer named Harold Wilkins claimed to have found a letter from Fawcett in which he described being captured by a secretive tribe. According to Wilkins, Fawcett was still alive, living among them. This account was never verified, but it sparked renewed interest in the story. Others speculated that Fawcett had discovered Z but had been unable or unwilling to return to the outside world. Perhaps he had found a society so advanced, so untouched by modernity, that he chose to stay. Meanwhile, the scientific community began to uncover evidence that lent credence to Fawcett's theories. Archaeologists studying the Amazon found remnants of massive earthworks, including geometric patterns and raised fields that indicated large-scale agriculture. These discoveries challenged the long-held belief that the Amazon was a counterfeit paradise incapable of supporting complex societies. The evidence suggested that millions of people once lived in the region, their civilizations sophisticated and interconnected. This newfound understanding has come to be known as the study of geoglyphs and the Amazonian dark earth's fertile, man-made soils that could have supported large populations. Still, the question remains, was Fawcett right about Z? Could his lost city have been one of these ancient hubs of culture, forgotten by time and consumed by the jungle? Or was Z a figment of his imagination, a symbol of his yearning for a world beyond the mundane? As the years passed, the tale of Percy Fawcett evolved into a cultural touchstone. Books like David Grann's The Lost City of Z brought the story to a new generation, blending adventure with historical investigation. In 2016, the story was adapted into a feature film, further cementing Fawcett's place in popular imagination. Yet, even as his legend grows, the truth remains as elusive as the city he sought. There is something deeply human about Fawcett's story. It speaks to our innate desire to explore, to push beyond the boundaries of what we know. It is a reminder that the world, vast and ancient, still holds mysteries we cannot yet comprehend. For Fawcett, the quest for Z was not just about discovery. It was about belief in the unknown, belief in a world that could surprise us, and belief in the possibility of rewriting history. And so, the jungle continues to guard its secrets. The Amazon, with its impenetrable depths and hidden treasures, remains both a challenge and an inspiration to those who dare to dream. Percy Fawcett may have vanished, but his spirit lives on in every explorer, every scientist, and every dreamer who looks to the horizon and wonders what lies beyond. The lost city of Z may or may not exist, but the mystery surrounding it has become a legend in its own right. It is a story of adventure and obsession, of triumph and tragedy, and of the enduring allure of the unknown. And perhaps that is the greatest discovery of all, that even in an age of satellites and GPS, there are still places in this world, and in our imaginations, that remain unexplored. For as long as the Amazon stands, shrouded in mist and mystery, the legend of Colonel Percy Fawcett and his lost expedition will endure, calling to those brave enough to seek what cannot be seen, and to believe in what lies just beyond the edge of the map. Decades passed, and with them came technological advancements that allowed the Amazon to be explored in ways Colonel Fawcett could never have imagined. Satellites mapped the dense forest canopy, radar penetrated the layers of vegetation, and drones flew over regions too hostile or remote for humans. Yet, even with all these tools, the Amazon remained stubbornly enigmatic, as if the jungle itself conspired to keep its secrets hidden. Archaeologists and historians began to re-examine Fawcett's claims in light of new discoveries. In the 21st century, researchers uncovered evidence of vast settlements hidden beneath the rainforest. These settlements, often defined by their geoglyphs and intricate networks of roads and canals, suggested that advanced civilizations had indeed thrived in the Amazon centuries before the arrival of Europeans. Some of these findings aligned eerily well with the descriptions in the manuscript 512 that had inspired Fawcett's quest. One of the most startling discoveries was the presence of terra preta, or black earth, a man-made soil rich in nutrients. This soil had been engineered by ancient inhabitants to sustain large-scale agriculture in an otherwise poor environment. The sheer scope of its use suggested that the Amazon might once have supported populations numbering in the millions, a revelation that turned centuries of assumptions about the region on their head. Could these ancient civilizations have been the inspiration for Fawcett's Z? Or had Z existed as a real city, hidden deeper within the jungle, possibly a hub for these interconnected societies? Researchers were divided. Some believed that Fawcett had misinterpreted the evidence and that Z was a symbolic amalgamation of the many ancient cultures that once thrived in the Amazon. Others argued that his descriptions of monumental architecture hinted at something greater, something yet to be uncovered. Even the indigenous tribes of the Amazon, with their oral histories and legends, seemed to guard fragments of the puzzle. Some tribes told stories of their ancestors being part of vast cities, while others spoke of sacred places deep in the jungle that outsiders were forbidden to enter. It wasn't difficult to imagine Fawcett stumbling upon one of these tribes and either being killed for trespassing or choosing to integrate himself into their community, abandoning the modern world altogether. In the mid-2000s, a particularly intriguing expedition emerged from an area in the Xingu River basin. Archaeologists uncovered a network of circular villages, carefully organized and connected by roadways. These settlements seemed to match descriptions of Fawcett's Z in terms of their size and sophistication. The discovery bolstered the idea that Z might not have been a singular city but a complex network of urban centers, a thriving civilization that had been forgotten after the collapse of its population due to disease brought by European contact. But even as science edged closer to validating Fawcett's theories, his fate remained unresolved. Every year, amateur explorers ventured into the jungle to search for clues about the missing expedition. Some returned with wild tales of skeletal remains or artifacts, though none could be definitively linked to Fawcett. Others never returned at all, adding to the mystique and danger of the legend. In 2004, an anthropologist named James Lynch published a controversial theory suggesting that Fawcett had not died but had chosen to live in the jungle. Based on testimonies from local tribes, Lynch argued that Fawcett had integrated into an isolated community, marrying into the tribe and adopting their way of life. The theory was tantalizing but speculative, and without hard evidence, it joined the growing list of possibilities. Even more fantastical accounts emerged, suggesting that Fawcett had stumbled upon an interdimensional gateway or a sacred site that had absorbed him into its mysteries. While these ideas veered into the realm of the supernatural, they underscored the almost mythological status Fawcett had attained. But for all the speculation, it was the human side of Fawcett's story that continued to resonate most deeply. His letters, preserved by his family, revealed a man torn between his duty to his loved ones and his calling to explore. One letter, written shortly before his departure, expressed his hope that his discovery would benefit humanity and justify the sacrifices he and his family had made. It was clear that for Fawcett, Z was not just a city, it was a symbol of the potential for humanity to transcend its limitations and rediscover a lost connection with the natural world. As the years marched on, the legend of Percy Fawcett became less about finding answers and more about the pursuit of mystery itself. His story inspired countless explorers, scientists, and dreamers to venture into the unknown, each carrying a piece of his spirit with them. The jungle, vast and indifferent, continued to resist full understanding, as if reminding humanity that some questions are meant to remain unanswered. Perhaps that is the true legacy of Percy Fawcett, the understanding that mystery is as vital to the human experience as discovery. In a world where so much has been charted and explained, the idea that there are still blank spaces on the map is both humbling and exhilarating. For Fawcett, the search for Z was not just a quest for a lost city but a journey into the heart of what it means to be human, curious, daring, and eternally hopeful. And so, the jungle endures, whispering its secrets to those brave enough to listen. The tale of Percy Fawcett remains a beacon for adventurers and a reminder that even in our age of reason, there are places where imagination reigns supreme. Whether Z exists as a physical city or as a symbol of human potential, its legacy is undeniable. As long as the Amazon remains wild and untamed, and as long as there are those willing to seek the unknown, the spirit of Percy Fawcett will never be forgotten. The mystery of Colonel Percy Fawcett and the lost city of Z stands as a timeless reminder of humanity's insatiable thirst for discovery. It is not merely a story of an explorer who vanished into the depths of the Amazon, it is a narrative that reflects the tension between the known and the unknown, the drive to uncover the truths of the past, and the courage to venture into the unexplored. Fawcett's disappearance, while tragic, has ensured his place in history not just as an adventurer but as a symbol of unyielding curiosity and determination. His quest for Z may never have led to a physical city, but in many ways, it transcended geography. It became a journey of ideas, inspiring countless people to question conventional wisdom and to see the world as a place still filled with wonder and possibility. The Amazon, vast and enigmatic, continues to guard its secrets. Perhaps one day, advancements in technology or a stroke of luck will reveal the answers that have eluded us for nearly a century. But even if the truth remains hidden, Fawcett's story will endure, carried on by the whispers of the jungle and the imaginations of those who hear it. In the end, Percy Fawcett's legacy is not measured by the discoveries he made or the mysteries he left behind, but by the enduring power of his dream. He reminds us that the world is not as small or as comprehensible as we might think, and that some mysteries are best left to inspire, to challenge, and to remind us of the infinite possibilities that lie just beyond the horizon. As long as there are those who dare to seek, to dream, and to push the boundaries of the possible, the spirit of Percy Fawcett will live on, not lost in the jungle, but alive in the hearts of explorers everywhere. And so, the legend of Colonel Percy Fawcett comes to a close not with answers, but with questions that continue to ignite our imagination. His story reminds us that the world is still full of mysteries, waiting to be unraveled, hidden in the shadows of time and nature. Whether Z was real or a dream, whether Fawcett found it or disappeared chasing it, one thing is certain: his courage and determination remain an enduring symbol of the human spirit's unyielding desire to explore the unknown. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of history and the uncharted Amazon. If you enjoyed this story and want to uncover more mysteries, make sure to subscribe to Cryptiverse. Let me know in the comments what you think happened to Percy Fawcett and if the lost city of Z could still be out there. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and keep exploring the unexplained. This is